VoyMonk video voice vlog. Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, things have been changing and moving kind of quickly. I know that doesn't necessarily always make a lot of sense on one end of this thing versus the other, but hey, that's part of my truck to make it make sense. And yeah, doing vlogging, doing any kind of content, I'll tell you, thing that I've learned is that it takes a lot more than what it seems like on the surface. Specifically, I mean, I guess given a primary example, if you watch a favorite TV show, right? And when I say you watch a favorite TV show, I mean you really watch a favorite TV show. This is a show that, let's say it's your favoriteest of all TV shows, whatever, right? Or it could be a movie, any piece of content, right? The thing of it is that if you actually stop to think in terms of how that content is produced and how it's made and all that kind of thing or whatever, and then you start to think about how it's consumed and how other people view it and the way that it's taken from there, those can be two entirely different experiences. And what I mean by that is, give, for example, George Lucas, right? Made one of the greatest sci-fi soap operas that's ever been, right? Fantasy, whatever. But if you stop to think, what do you think that process was like and felt like for George Lucas? And what I mean by that in terms of that, when you're writing, when you're creating, when you're making something and you're actually part of the arduous task of making it something that is happening, whether it's, I'm talking about Star Wars in terms of a production, but I'm also talking about content just in itself in general. I mean, it's hard work. I mean, it's the reason why a lot of people invest a lot of money, time, and resources in to makeup and editing and things like that. And it's also why, even if you don't make content in your real world, everyday life, it's a lot of the same thing. Because if it's important, you want to put the best thing you can forward. But the experience is completely different when you're on one side of the arrangement as opposed to the other. And it doesn't necessarily have to be making movies. It doesn't have to be just creating content. It could be doing anything. People who visit a supermarket are going to be completely having a different experience than those who work behind the counter and produce and make everything that happens. You kind of get what I'm saying? Hopefully you dig that. And so, like I said, when it comes to making content as far as on here or anywhere else in any capacity, there is that temptation to be enticed towards a lot of different things. Because, again, on the one end, when you're listening, or at least I'm listening, I'm speaking about my experiences to other content creators, I'm enjoying myself. I mean, more specifically, like, for example, ASMR. I'm not sure Gentle Whispering has the same exact experience as all of those whom she creates that experience for and with. And while, like I said, I believe I make content here and she makes content, and there's lots of different content creators, I don't necessarily think I'm in her league or I do the same thing at all in terms of what she does, but I still think the dynamics are very similar and they're still there. So that's what I mean in terms of this process, that process, the process of doing a channel and making content. And I think for me, as long as it's something that I actually enjoy making, then hopefully it's as much something that I can create a pleasure for someone who's consuming it and coming along for the ride and experiencing it. So that's going to be it for this video voice vlog. Until my next vlog. Take care.